What if I told you that the best way to understand America is not through its landmarks or its history books, but through your taste buds? Imagine traveling across the country and realizing that each city is defined by flavors that cannot be copied anywhere else. This is not just about eating. This is about tasting the soul of America. Today we are counting down the top 10 food destinations in the United States, the cities that every traveler must visit. Get ready, because once you hear what these places are serving, you will never look at American food the same way again. We begin with New Orleans, Louisiana. Here, food is not just a tradition, it is a way of life. Walk into the French Quarter, and the air is heavy with the smell of spices, garlic, and frying dough. A bowl of gumbo arrives at your table, and you notice how thick the broth is. Dark with roux, smoky with sausage, rich with shrimp and crab. Each spoonful feels like a history lesson in French, African, and Creole culture. Then comes jambalaya, steaming hot with rice, tomatoes, peppers, and chunks of chicken and sausage. It is hearty, it is bold, and it fills you with warmth. Order a po' boy sandwich, and you get crispy fried shrimp stuffed inside a soft baguette, dripping with mayonnaise and hot sauce. And you cannot leave without powdered sugar covering your hands from a plate of fresh beignets at Café du Monde. New Orleans does not just feed you, it seduces you, it tempts you, it makes you fall in love with food again and again. Now we move to Charleston, South Carolina. This is where Southern charm meets culinary elegance. Imagine golden shrimp laid gently on a bed of creamy grits, the cornmeal smooth and buttery, the shrimp flavored with garlic, lemon, and just enough spice to make you crave the next bite. Barbecue here is not rushed. Pork shoulders smoke for hours until the meat is so tender, it barely needs a knife. Add a drizzle of mustard-based sauce, and you understand why Charleston's barbecue is famous across the South. Flaky biscuits fresh from the oven, served with honey or gravy, are the kind of simple foods that taste like home. Charleston is a city where tradition is preserved, but also reinvented. One night you eat in a rustic tavern lit with lanterns. The next night in a sleek restaurant where chefs use local oysters to create dishes you have never seen before. Every meal here is Southern hospitality made edible. The next stop is New York City. If food had a capital, this would be it. Start with a slice of pizza. The crust is thin but firm. The cheese stretches as you pull it away, the sauce perfectly balanced between sweet and tangy. It costs only a couple of dollars at the city's famous dollar slice shops, but the memory will last forever. Then you step into a Chinatown noodle shop, and the chef is slapping fresh dough against the counter, stretching it into long hand-pulled noodles dropped into bubbling broth. Across the city in Little Italy, the smell of garlic and tomatoes fills the air as plates of pasta and meatballs are carried out. In Queens, you can find Colombian arepas, Indian curries, Korean barbecue, and Mexican tacos, all within a few blocks of each other. And of course, the high-end side of New York dazzles with Michelin-starred temples of gastronomy, where dishes look like works of art. The city never sleeps, and neither does its food. It is the most diverse dining scene in the world, and it will overwhelm you in the best way possible. Now we head to Savannah, Georgia. This city is like stepping back in time, with cobblestone squares and Spanish moss hanging from oak trees. But the food is alive, bold, and comforting. A plate of fried chicken arrives, the skin crisp and seasoned, the inside juicy and tender. You break it apart and steam rises out. On the side, there is mac and cheese, creamy and bubbling with melted cheddar, and collard greens, slow cooked with ham hocks until they taste smoky and rich. Savannah is also a seafood town. Fresh shrimp caught that very morning are boiled with Old Bay seasoning and served with cocktail sauce. Oysters are shucked open and eaten raw, salty and briny, straight from the Atlantic. Eating here feels intimate, like being invited into a southern kitchen where every recipe has been passed down for generations. Next, we travel to Asheville, North Carolina. A mountain town with a reputation for creativity, Asheville is a paradise for foodies. Walk into a farm-to-table restaurant, and the menu changes daily depending on what local farmers bring in. One evening, you might find goat cheese salad with heirloom tomatoes and balsamic glaze. The next night, a slow-roasted pork belly with apple cider glaze. Everything tastes fresh, seasonal, and connected to the land. Asheville also thrives on craft beer. Imagine sitting in a brewery with views of the Blue Ridge Mountains, sipping a hoppy IPA or a smooth stout, while eating wood-fired pizza topped with wild mushrooms. The air smells of hops and fresh bread. It is not just about the food here, it is about community and sustainability. Asheville teaches you that eating local is not a trend. It is a way of respecting the earth. Our next stop brings us to San Diego, California. Here the flavors of Mexico and the Pacific Ocean collide in spectacular ways. You bite into a fish taco, and the tortilla is warm. The fish is lightly battered and fried, topped with shredded cabbage, creamy sauce, and a squeeze of lime. Though the dish was born just south in Baja California, Mexico, it became an icon of San Diego, where it found nationwide fame. Carne asada fries are another San Diego treasure. Picture crispy fries piled high with juicy grilled steak, melted cheese, guacamole, sour cream, and salsa. It is messy, indulgent, and addictive. And because San Diego sits on the Pacific, seafood here is abundant. Grilled mahi-mahi, ceviche marinated in citrus with onions and cilantro, and oysters served with chili sauce are just a few of the highlights. Eating in San Diego feels like a permanent summer vacation. The journey then takes us to San Francisco, California. Here food is both an art and a statement. The famous sourdough bread has a crust so crisp it cracks under your teeth, while the inside is soft and slightly tangy. Dip it into a bowl of clam chowder served right inside a bread bowl, and you taste comfort perfected. San Francisco is also the birthplace of the Mission burrito, stuffed with rice, beans, meat, cheese, and salsa, rolled tight enough to be a full meal in your hand. Farmers markets overflow with organic fruits and vegetables, and Michelin-starred restaurants push boundaries with experimental dishes that surprise even the most seasoned traveler. Dining in San Francisco is like exploring the future of food while still honoring tradition. We now step into Boston, Massachusetts. The Atlantic Ocean has shaped everything here, and the result is one of the greatest seafood cities in America. The moment you taste Boston clam chowder, thick, creamy, and packed with clams and potatoes, you realize why this dish is iconic. Lobster rolls are another must. Sweet lobster meat drenched in butter or mayonnaise. Stuffed into a toasted bun, it is simple but divine. And then there are fried clams, crispy on the outside, tender on the inside, eaten by the handful. Boston also offers a sense of history with its taverns and pubs, where meals are served in places that date back to the American Revolution. Eating in Boston is like enjoying seafood with a side of storytelling. Ninth on the list is Portland, Maine. This city is small but mighty when it comes to food. Maine is the lobster capital of the United States, and Portland is its shining showcase. Order a lobster roll, and the bun is buttered and toasted, the meat is sweet and fresh, and the taste is pure ocean. Oysters are another highlight, served raw on ice with lemon wedges. The briny taste is as close as you can get to drinking the sea. But Portland is not limited to tradition. It has innovative chefs who use local seafood in creative ways, from lobster mac and cheese to scallop crudo. Walking along the harbor with a paper basket of fried clams while the sea breeze hits your face, you realize Portland delivers a food experience that is both rustic and refined. Finally, we arrive at Nashville, Tennessee. This city is loud, energetic, and unforgettable, and so is its food. Nashville hot chicken is a legend. The chicken is fried to crispy perfection, then coated in a fiery cayenne pepper sauce that brings tears to your eyes, but also joy to your taste buds. The heat is intense, but the flavor keeps you coming back for more. Pair it with white bread and pickles, and you have a dish that defines Nashville. Barbecue is also big here, with ribs smoked until the meat falls off the bone, and pulled pork sandwiches dripping with sauce. And because Nashville is the home of country music, every meal is accompanied by live performances in bars and restaurants. Eating in Nashville is not just about food, it is about rhythm, energy, and passion. By the time this journey ends, one thing is clear: America cannot be explained by one cuisine. It is a country where New Orleans gumbo lives alongside New York pizza, where Savannah fried chicken shares space with San Diego fish tacos, where Portland lobster rolls are as iconic as Nashville hot chicken. Each city has its own flavor, its own story, and its own way of welcoming travelers. So when you plan your trips, do not just see America, taste it. Because in these 10 cities, food is not just something you eat, it is something you will remember for the rest of your life.